Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tag video that I saw Patty do that I just thought was fantastic because I am such a bobble person, I guess you'd say. So it is the Books and Bobbles tag, and it's a lot of fun and I get to show you all the geeky stuff I own. So let's get into it. First question is, name a book you're proud to own but don't get to show off very often. So the book I'm going to show you is not a book in the traditional sense, but it is a book. It's just not one you can read, and it is a yearbook from my university. So I went to a women's college that has a really rich history, and the Spinster is our yearbook, and this is one of the yearbooks from the Second World War, and it is just a fantastic piece of history. I collect the older yearbooks, like I've been trying to get the ones for my reunion classes, which are the 3s and the 8s, but when I saw this I knew I wanted to have it because it's just such an amazing part of history, and it's really cool because they do, like, they have all kinds of pictures, so it's like a history book in itself, but it's not really, you know, a history book like you could buy in a store or that everybody would have. But I just love it. It's just so fantastic and so beautiful and such a great piece of not only history but of my university's history, and I love it. The next question is, name a book that you love for the pictures, and this is the Rock City Barnes book, and it comes in this really cool sleeve, but it is basically a photography book with pictures of all the Rock City barns. And if you're not familiar with what the Rock City barns are, I'm from Chattanooga and we have a tourist attraction called Rock City, and when they first opened, they would go around asking people if they could paint on their barns as advertisement, because back then we didn't really have interstates, and so people drove, you know, US highways, and the US highways go right past people's properties, and so the barns were great forms of advertisement, and they were usually red with white lettering, and they would write them like on the top of the barn or on the side of the barn, and they were beautiful, but because of the interstates, a lot of these have fallen into disrepair or have been completely demolished. And so this was one man who went through documenting all the different barns. Like, he found a record of all the barns that had been painted and where to find them, and he went to try to find them all, and some of them were already gone, some of them were so overgrown that he could barely find them, and some of them are still in good condition because the people who own the property value this piece of history and have kept them up. So it's a wonderful, wonderful book, and I've actually, when I used to work in a job that took me into rural Tennessee, I would find the barns, like I would look for them, and so I have a few pictures that I'll insert here of some different barns that I encountered on my travels, and they're just beautiful. When you can find them still intact, they are just a beautiful, amazing part of history that I think we won't have all that much longer. Question 3 is, name a book that is a companion to one of your fandoms, and that is this chunker that I think a lot of Harry Potter fans have. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's the Page to Screen Harry Potter book, and it's beautiful. It is heavy as crap, so I don't want to hold it up for too long, but it is beautiful, and I think that it is a great part of any Harry Potter fan's collection. So I'm going to combine questions 4 and 7 because they kind of go together, especially for somebody who really only buys for one book fandom, and that is obviously Harry Potter. So the questions are, name some trinkets that you bought because of a book fandom, and then also, do you own any clothing or accessories that have to do with a book fandom? The first thing I will show you, and I'm going to try to do close-ups of these because it's probably pretty hard to see them. This is the Deathly Hallows necklace, and it spins, which is so fantastic. I used to wear this on dates because if they got the reference, it being kind of subtle, then that was bonus points in their favor, which, by the way, husband didn't have to go through that test because I knew he liked Harry Potter, so he was a winner from the start. I also have this ring, which is a Ravenclaw sort of like crest ring. It doesn't have like the official crest, but it's got the Ravenclaw eagle on it. And then I have this ring, which is not meant to be a fandom ring. It's from Jewel Mint, but it was the Raven's Claw ring and a Raven's Talon ring, and so clearly I had to have it, and it's probably one of my favorite rings that I own because it's just really cool looking, but it's also, you know, Ravenclaw. I also have a Ravenclaw ornament, which I just hung on my tree and had to go take off, but this is gorgeous and heavy, and from the parks in Universal. I also have a couple of things that are like old school fandom. So this one is the little snitch that was introduced before there were movies, so this is just like a book fandom thing, and it's so faded and kind of sad looking, but I love it, and I keep it on my bookshelf, but it's a little high, so I don't think you can actually ever see it in my videos. The other one is in this like Steak and Shake thing, but some of you who are old school Harry Potter fans might know what these are when you see them. That was probably really loud. But they are these like weird gem things. I think that they were sold at like Claire's or maybe it was Hallmark, or I don't know, Spencer's, somewhere. They were sold somewhere in the mall. That has nothing to do with this, but they're little like plastic things that have different things, and the only one out of this entire set, they came in these little round things with 3 of them in it. The only one I don't have is like the rare one, so I have all the rest of them. But, and then one last thing, I have this Ravenclaw scarf that my dad got me at Christmas last year, and it's really warm and cute, and I love it. I also have a couple of t-shirts that I didn't want to dig out of my dresser, but I have a couple of t-shirts, and then the most recent thing I think I got was an actual Ravenclaw cloak that my dad gave me at my wedding reception as like a secret surprise, and it was really cute. So I have that as well. So I have a lot of Harry Potter fandom stuff, but really no other book fandom stuff. So the next one is show a bauble or trinket from a non-bookish fandom. So that would be Disney. And there are plenty of them. You can see some of them behind me on my shelf. But these are Vinylmations from the Park Stars series. This one is the little troll from Norway, which this ride is gone now and has been replaced with Frozen, and that breaks my heart just a little bit because these guys are so ridiculous and adorable, and that Norway ride was something just silly. Very, very silly. And then I have this little guy, which is from the Electric Light Parade. He's a little turtle. I have tons more of them. They have this one that's like right that's right here is I can't remember his name, but he's a little guy from Star Tours. And then over there are 2 little people from, or a person and a cactus from It's a Small World. But I have a ton, like I have all 3, I think there are only 3 series of the Vinylmation Park Stars because I love them. They're little pieces of the park that I can just like have at home. So the 6th question is, name a bauble or trinket that you own that is not related to a fandom. So the first one I'm going to show you is this Titanic. It's like a metal, you build it together. I think we got it at like Barnes & Noble, but my husband put it in this really cool like diorama thing. It is so cute, and I love this and I cherish it. And then the other thing goes along with the first book that I showed you, which is just memorabilia from my university. And so the first one is this spoon that I got off of eBay actually, and it says Roanoke, Virginia, and then it has like the Hollins College crest. And I can't remember what year this is from, but it's pretty old and it's just stunning. And then when, I want to say it was in the 50s, I'm not 100% sure what year they did this, but Wedgwood made a set of plates for the 4 buildings on Front Quad. So they're actual Wedgwood plates, and they came in 3 colors. Unfortunately, I've only ever been able to get my hands on 2 of the colors because the green ones are so gorgeous and they just don't come up like on eBay or in antique stores or anything very often. They're really hard to get your hands on. But I have the traditional Wedgwood blue ones, which you're seeing now, up in my bedroom in the order, sort of the order they are on Front Quad, and I just love them. They are one of my most cherished possessions because I'm really proud of my university, and this is just one of the coolest ways to sort of I don't know, display it and just have a little piece of it with me every day, and I love them. They're just beautiful. And question 8 is, what is on your wish list? So I don't really have a whole lot of things on my wish list that are fandom related. I did ask for this mug that is freaking adorable that has to do with the game Exploding Kittens, which is kind of fandom related because it goes with the comic The Oatmeal, and I asked for that from my husband. And then I saw recently a couple of Christmas ornaments that my university is selling that are incredible. They are definitely on my wish list for the future because they're stunning, and like I said, obsessed with anything that has to do with my university. If you came to my house, you would know I love Hollands, I love Disney, and I love Harry Potter because they are everywhere. We are giant nerds. Oh, and Legos. There'd be Legos everywhere too. So that is it. This was a really fun tag to do. I got to wander around my house and find all of the things that I love and cherish and share them with you. So yeah, I would love to see your bookish baubles and your little trinkets, and yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.